Sweet Travels, where we explore different desserts from all across the globe. Today we will be doing something a little different. In honor of the World Cup, which finished on Sunday, we have 4 different desserts, one from each of the final 4 teams: France, England, Spain, and Argentina. The World Cup has been a lot of fun to follow. My family and I even got to go to a game. We saw the Netherlands beat Sweden 5-1 in Houston.
What did you think of the game? What was your favorite part?
I don't know. I really liked watching them score.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun, and we got to see a lot of goals too.
Yeah, that was a really good game. I'm glad we went to that one.
Especially since we were cheering for the Netherlands.
We'll start off in France, where we'll try one of my favorite desserts, crème brûlée. Crème brûlée is from France, which is a popular country. In fact, over 100 million tourists come to visit every year to see sights like the Eiffel Tower and the Louvre Museum, which is where they keep the Mona Lisa.
We actually went there last year, didn't we? We saw the Eiffel Tower and the Mona Lisa.
Yeah, we climbed up the Eiffel Tower.
We did. We took a lot of steps.
Yeah, and I was exhausted.
I think we all were.
France is a really big country, and it is actually the biggest in the European Union. Not bigger than Russia, though. France makes about 1,200 types of cheese, which is a whole lot of cheese. They also make like 10 billion baguettes.
Do you want to know something funny?
What?
So in Harry Potter, in the French version of Harry Potter, do you know what they call a magic wand?
What?
A baguette magique.
Really?
Yeah. Yes.
That is funny.
I thought so too.
We don't know when crème brûlée was really invented, but we do know that the first printed recipe for the dessert appeared in 1691. That was a long time ago. Crème brûlée is one of my favorite desserts, and since it's from France, it worked out perfectly for a World Cup special. Eggs, milk, and brown sugar are the main ingredients. You could also add stuff like vanilla bean. There are a lot of recipes for crème brûlée. Making it wasn't a piece of cake. Crème brûlée was one of the hardest ones. Dad was worried about it, but it turned out great.
So the thing that I was worried about was the consistency, because it's hard to make sure that it's really creamy and doesn't you have to cook it just the right amount of time. And we also should say that most of the time when people make crème brûlée, they use a torch to make the burned sugar on top. We weren't able to get one from our friends, and so instead what we did was we took the brown sugar and sprinkled it on top, and then we put it in the broiler of the oven, and that was what melted the sugar on top at the end. So what did you think of the crème brûlée?
It was delicious. The candied top part was thin and sugary. The inside was creamy and sweet. We used to have this at our favorite coffee shop, served with candied blueberries. Yummy!
I miss those. I miss that crème brûlée.
Yeah. Next, we'll hop across the English Channel to try sticky toffee pudding, which comes from the Lake District of England. The Lake District is in northwest England, just south of the border of Scotland. It is associated with the 18th and 19th century English literature, including William Wordsworth, and is also mentioned in that one book by Jane Austen that Mommy read. What's it called again, Dad?
Pride and Prejudice.
Beatrix Potter also set many of the Peter Rabbit books in the Lake District. Sticky toffee pudding isn't pudding like we usually think of it. Instead, it's a sticky sponge cake covered in toffee sauce and sometimes served with vanilla ice cream or custard. The sponge cake uses dates in it, and the toffee sauce uses cream, butter, and brown sugar. The dessert was made popular in the 1970s by Francis Coulson.
I think it's Coulson. Close enough.
And Robert Lee, who served it at the Sharrow Bay Country House Hotel. Other pubs also claim to have invented the dessert earlier, with one saying it had made it in 1907 and another in the 1960s. Making it was fun. I especially liked putting the batter into the cupcake liners. I like anything toffee or caramel related. Yum-alicious. It was like a sponge cake. It tasted better than I expected. I didn't really taste the dates, even though there are so many. I loved the sauce, too. Now we'll go back to the mainland of Europe and the Iberian Peninsula to go to Spain. For this country, we decided to do Basque cheesecake. It comes from the Basque country called Euskadi.
Euskadi, I think. They didn't. I couldn't tell how to pronounce it, but we just have to guess.
Euskadi. The main city is Bilbao, and the whole area has about 2.2 million people in it. There are a lot of famous footballers or soccer players, if you're American, from this area, including Xabi Alonso, who is now the manager at Chelsea in England, and Mikel Arteta, who is the manager of Arsenal, who just won the Premier League. It is also the home of Adern Pasaban, who is the first woman in the world to climb all 14 of the mountains higher than 8,000 meters. Basque cheesecake was created in 1988 by Santiago Rivera at his Pinso Bar La Viña in San Sebastian, a coastal city in the Basque Country, Spain. It got really popular on social media like Instagram. We decided to make this one because my dad saw a recipe for it on the New York Times. Unlike most cheesecakes, this one does not have a crust. It uses eggs, heavy cream, some flour, and a ton of cream cheese, like 4.5 packages. Making it was pretty easy, or at least not as hard as the creme brulee. I like dumping all the cream cheese in the mixer. It tasted very creamy. I think it was like the melt-in-your-mouth kind of texture.
You didn't really like the texture, though, did you? Wasn't that what you kind of said?
Yeah. Our last stop is way over in South America for the home of Lionel Messi, Argentina. The original alfajores came from Spain, but they are also eaten in other South American countries like Chile, Peru, and Uruguay. Is not sure of the time period, but probably during some time between 711 and 1492. The Argentina version has been made since colonial times. There are many different versions of the Argentina alfajor, but usually the filling is dulce de leche. Argentina is a country in the very southernmost part of South America. It is bordered by Chile on the west, Bolivia to the northwest, Paraguay to the north, Uruguay to the east, and Brazil to the northeast. It has about 47 million people, and the capital is Buenos Aires. We needed a dessert from Argentina, and my dad thought this one looked yummy and simple to make. The cookies are made with cornstarch, flour, butter, powdered sugar, and lemon zest. The filling is dulce de leche, which you can get already at the grocery store. This one was the easiest one to make. I liked rolling the dough and spreading the dulce de leches on the cookies. The cookies tasted lemony, but the dulce de leche was sweet and caramelly. This one was probably my favorite out of the ones we have talked about today.
All right, so before we end, we're going to have, since it's the World Cup tournament, we're going to have our own mini World Cup tournament of desserts. So in the World Cup, in the semifinals, the first game was between Spain and France, and so we'll have you pick a winner for each game, okay? So which one would you choose between Spain, which was the Basque cheesecake, and creme brulee, which is France?
I would choose the creme brulee.
That's what I thought. So we'll have creme brulee going to the finals and the Basque cheesecake going to the third place game. All right, now the tough one. Sticky toffee pudding from England or alfajores from Argentina?
You're making me choose between those?
Yes, you have to choose.
I think the alfajores was my favorite.
All right.
Sorry, pudding.
All right. So for third place, we have Spain versus England. So our Basque cheesecake versus sticky toffee pudding.
Sticky toffee pudding.
Sticky toffee pudding. All right. So sticky toffee pudding finishes third. And for the championship, creme brulee from France or the alfajores from Argentina. This is the toughest one, isn't it?
Yeah, those are my two favorite ones.
Ooh. We'll say it went to penalties. It was a close game, but who comes out on top? I think since you chose for dessert tonight, I think you know which one you chose for dessert tonight was probably the one that you liked best. Right?
Yeah. I choose the alfajores.
All right. Alfajores wins. So Argentina gets the gold and France gets the silver. That was pretty fun, huh?
Yeah.
We got to try a lot of different desserts and they were all pretty yummy, I think. I think we enjoyed making them. And I think we got some recipes that we can use again in the future too, right?
Yeah. They were all delicious.
I agree.
Thanks for listening. We hope you enjoyed our World Cup of desserts. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. See you next time. Bon bon voyage!
Bon voyage!